It didn't look like a bad shot from G2 on the second half. The first, however, entirely absent. The French do fall in their first, and while still fielding shocks in their roster, that was a chance for them to try and pick up a win with one of their stars still fighting fit. Of course, currently under injury and will not be playing for the majority of this initial Pro League season. But we got him today, and we didn't get a G2 first half, Yanko.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, FaZe just all guns blazing on that CT side, and I think it was unfortunate for G2. You can see that Shox is struggling a bit, you know, playing with the CZ at times, giving the AK to some of his teammates, and it was the nightmare scenario where you get off to a bad start, lose pistol and everything, then even after you win a round, you get immediately reset. And for a team like FaZe, I think it also shows that we saw it at the major, that have put a lot of work into their cash and train, and they're looking like really strong right now on the map.
Yeah, and while we're on the topic of FaZe, Guardian, you know, we can no longer say he doesn't look at home on this map, because the last couple of times I've watched him play it, he's been one of the more dominant fraggers on that CT side. And you'd expect that, right? Once he gets comfortable with the positions, the timings, he knows how to fall back from scenarios. He can actually, he's a player who will kind of change the way that the AWP meta on this map can play.
I think the biggest thing is, because he plays B side a lot, it's, you know, usually on B, our AWPer is very powerful, but then you throw the mollies and maybe move him out of position. He has to take those close range fights, and that's where you get him. But not Guardian, he's so good at even those close range flicks, and then it's just a pain in the ass to deal with. Like, what do? The thing that works against, you know, conventional AWPers does not work against him. So very, very difficult to play against FaZe on the CT side.
Just like we saw just there, right? Like, he's just hitting a shot that most people would miss, and that bomb site would get overrun. We did talk about, like, the casters were talking about Carrigan had a couple eco kills. You know, it's always good as the in-game leader to pad your stats like that. Back in 1.6, I love planting the bomb. So that's the new version of that in this. But FaZe on the CT side, right, we talk about this almost for every map. They have strong players, they can play them all the positions on the map individually, and they just rack up those kills. When they flipped on over, like, obviously it was just felt like a grind. It always felt like they were going to win the game with a 13-2 scoreline. But they were just kind of defaulting and hoping to get kills, and you could see the aggression from G2 playing in finding opening kills, and then from there they were always down in a number disadvantage. Eventually took Olaf finding that B push. I think it was onto Apex. He tried it a couple times, right? He got away with it most times, sometimes with only a little bit of HP. As soon as Olaf made that kill, they played the situation correctly, and from there it was like, that's match point, and this should be done.
Yeah, it did kind of get extended, though, by G2. We're going to have a little kind of, perhaps a glimmer of what we're going to get onto our second map. I mean, Overpass is up next. Yanko, do you have any kind of different expectations? I mean, you'd like to see a T side, I imagine, from G2.
Yeah, that's the thing, because, again, we're going to mention Rain in the bathrooms area. He is, alongside Fer, probably the best player in the world at playing that particular position. So it's obviously going to be a difficult task playing against FaZe when they're on the CT side. But something that G2 does really, really well on this map is mid-round aggression, right? It's not just in the beginning when you go with Kenny maybe to find the pick or something along those lines. It's, you know, after your opponents get into their default, when they're figuring out where they want to go. G2 is very good at finding the weak spot, really, and maybe getting a numbers advantage, or at least some information which allows them to rotate properly.
Chad, while your ears perked up, what have you found?
I was just trying to
some homework?
sort of, you know me, Alex, I'm always watching that B stream. I always got those B stream updates coming in. Australis were winning the first half quite convincingly, but
16-5,
I
I
accidentally just hit refresh.
Was the final score?
It took it. Oh, okay. Well, then you've got the. I had it up. And
I've
then
always
I hit
got it.
refresh,
So
and
it's
then
up here. I'm actually watching the game on my
soon we'll actually be able to do that. We'll be able to, like, we're contact lenses, Alex, and we'll be able to, like, watch things.
Yeah.
I think Google will probably be the ones to invent it.
What, so I could actually have a stream here, and I'd just be kind of like...
I disagree.
Instead of, like, having the producer in your ear, he'll be right here, let's say.
That would be
I
so
think
cool.
Facebook is going to be the one to
I
invent
agree with you, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait to see that. That's going to be awesome. Playing Farmville, but, like, doing it just, like, while you're lying in bed.
When was the last time anybody played Farmville?
Dude, my parsnips crop is getting beefy.
Hench.
And not in the meaty sense. I'm not growing kind of cows or anything. It's just getting big. Yeah, got lots of parsnips. So let me know if you need any. Hit me up with a Facebook friend request. Please don't. Please, God, don't do that.
Why did you say that?
I don't know. Overpass, though, is going down. You've already made it clear that you think FaZe are going to be coming into this one with an advantage. But, I mean, there is always, and I do feel like we talk about it a lot with G2, Chad, is this is a team where we could just go, I don't think G2 are going to win, and then we see like a 16-5, 16-6, and something. Everything just gels. We have those instances; they exist.
They do, and usually when that happens, it's Apex finding space on that T side. He has really good timings. He has this intuition, you know, that he's just able to know how they play those CT setups, and he gets in there. He's hyper aggressive. He always just keeps going for it, and when he finds those timings, he can get in where the CTs don't expect him to be. Unfortunately, he didn't have a very good first map, so he needs to kick it up a gear for me if these guys want to have any shot on this second one, because we did see Kenny playing well with the AWP. He was the top fragger. That's one win condition. The second needs to be Shox doing what he did on the CT pistol round of Cage, getting those nice crisp headshots. And then it's Apex getting the timing on the entry frags. The weird thing for this is we have seen MBK doing the secondary AWPing, and he has been quite consistent on this map over towards that B-bomb side. I think he picks it up on the CT side, gets a little boost, you know, he does those cheeky things. They're going to need to pull out all those stops if they want to have anything against a FaZe that's looking pretty hot right now.
And do you consider a secondary AWP kind of a vital component to a CT side on Overpass going up against FaZe?
Vital, maybe not necessarily, but it's something that you can definitely whip out if you have good economy and catch them off guard. And for FaZe, this was probably the map that, you know, disappointed the most for them. When you look at that grand final at the major, they managed to win Mirage Cloud9's pick, and then on Overpass, their T side fell completely flat. They couldn't get anything done. So this is where they, you know, need to prove that they can do more than just if the individuals are having a good game and get some openings.
It wasn't that long ago we considered it one of their best maps. I think perhaps that loss over in the major may just have knocked their confidence.
It probably
somewhat.
still is. You know, you start talking about the meta across the board, right? And because so much Counter-Strike is played, you have to constantly keep evolving the way that you play. If it becomes your best map, you start looking at fixing the rest of the map pool, or maybe you're trying to make your third or fourth map a little bit better and doing all that kind of stuff. So your best will inevitably drop off.
It's cyclical. You're
Especially,
always going to keep moving.
if you're not working on new things and you're getting countered, right? Your tendencies are being looked at. There's ways to approach you, and you know, little things that people do, how to counter that, what's a strat we can make, all these little bits and pieces. I think like a big factor, right? We just spoke about that first map and how Guardian had a really good CT side, right? I was just looking up some stats here, and Guardian had 5 opening kills, 4 of which were on the CT side, meaning he's asserting himself with the AWP. And he can do that again on a map like Overpass. So that's a worrying sign, right? If he can continue to be aggressive, continue to find those opening kills, that's something that G2 are going to have a hard time struggling with.
He's had some ridiculous performances at the major. He took some time off right after, so he's maybe not 100% at the moment. But the most ridiculous stats I've heard in a very long time is on the grand final against Cloud9 on Mirage. Had 25 out of his 26 kills with the AWP.
It's insane, right?
That was just mad, and those were like the majority of those were high impact kills. So
25 out of 26.
having Guardian versus Kenny S on this map is going to be quite entertaining to watch.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to take this. Albeit briefly, it does sound like the players are getting into Overpass now, but we haven't had a lot of fun talk about kind of, not world's best AWP. We're not throwing names around, but Kenny and Guardian. I wanted to just call Cardigan.
Cardigan.
Kenny and Guardian are, they're in the ballot for world's best AWP.
Yeah, I think definitely looking at how maybe recently Fallen has dropped off a little bit at least. Those two are probably top 2, and I think you rarely see AWPers have direct duels anymore, and that's not the focal point. It's just taking turns in who's going to have a highlight round.
And they are both filling up the kill feed. I do feel like we haven't been shouting and screaming about Kenny and his prowess with the AWP as much as we have. Perhaps, I guess, because that major's so fresh in my mind and Guardian was MVP.
Well, the play style, right, that Kenny has to, the team that he has to work with when they're doing a lot of force buys, or they're doing these weird things where they go for, that full eco on that second round and buying up Galils and AKs on the third, means he's not getting an AWP up until, much deeper in half. So you're not going to see him being that carry. They don't use him as the spearhead of their attack, and that's a bit of a problem.
Do you genuinely believe that would make their game better overall? If they started giving, Kenny's AWP more priority in their map choice?
I think it would probably make
game chase?
Kenny happier, right? Like, he'd actually be able to be used to his full potential, and then we might get to see those highlights in the past. I think he was doing a reflections with Duncan, and he was actually saying in that he preferred playing with Existence because they actually had more of that structure and stuff.
I can, from playing with Kenny firsthand,
I
can confirm this, Alex. We were contemplating a force buy round, and I said, no, James, we're not forcing here. We're not G2. We're going to let Kenny play with the AWP. It was like a 16-13 game, I think, in the end, or something like that. So,
big call.
Big call.
Economy, it was very important, and
we're getting that AWP on Kenny.
Carried us through.
Did he get any kills with it?
Of course, it's Kenny.
It's Kenny. Kenny versus Guardian going down on Overpass. Let us know your predictions as well. There's a hashtag ESL Pro League, or you can hashtag YNK. I'm starting a new hashtag just for Yanko. If you wanted to tell him how you feel.
It's now.
It's your what?
It's like Twitter handle.
Yeah, you got just YNK.
You got
it. Get the 3 letters.
Oh, God damn you. This guy called @Machine is not budging a millimeter. I've been really trying. I followed him. He blocked me for a while.
Why?
Because I sent him a DM saying, hey, and he just immediately blocked me. He
is
knew
a
what was
machine.
going on. Because I was called My Name is Machine, and then he gets a DM from someone called Machine. He's like, I know what you want. There's no hiding it, is there?
Yeah, but this is, well, I got mine. Twitter helped me out. They gave it to me for free.
Yeah, I spoke to Twitter, and they were like, actually, he tweets #sunrise every morning, so he's an active account.
Well, maybe Facebook could help me out and get me just /sponge.
Ooh. Yeah, no, Machine's taken there as well, believe it or not.
Well, that
Some
one
oil
I can
company.
imagine with, yeah. That would be a hard one to get.
Yeah, why did I choose such a rubbish nickname? I should have called myself Sponge or something. That's so so unique.
I'm never going to live that down.
No,
I'm a 28-year-old man who gets referred to
Hey,
as a
Sponge!
kitchen appliance. Not appliance, a kitchen.
Appliance?
Not even a utensil. What would it be? Cleaning
What would you
instrument?
accessory?
It's
An
not even an
accessory.
accessory. It's like...
Yeah. I still think YNK is the coolest nickname. Just because I don't like that I can't say Yunk. There's no give me something.
The problem that happens with Yanko's name is people then spell his actual name with a Y instead of a J.
Yeah, but he immediately ignores all emails that start with a Y. Hey Yanko, we're wondering if you I'll delete.
Yeah, it's like, if you're asking me for work, you could at least get my name right. I know it's confusing for people that my nickname and my actual name are not the same. But imagine you're getting like, "Hello, machine." We would like it to
I know, I love that. Call me Machine. I still answer to Machine. If I hear Machine in the street, I'm like, "What's up?" I'm in Body Shop buying some moisturizer. Hey, Machine. The cash machine's not working. I'm like, what? Sorry.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's definitely your nickname, the cash machine.
Cash machine. Yeah, dollar bills, y'all. Counter-Strike. Anyway, Overpass G2 FaZe. We are waiting for an update as to whether or not the players are ready. But the general TLDR, for anyone that has just joined us here, welcome. Day 1 of the ESL Pro League. We seem to be kind of saying FaZe to win this one unless we get some of that G2 spice. We know it does come rather occasionally and infrequently.
Sorry here, Alex. We're going to go into this later, but I'm just going to do it now.
Okay.
It's going to be exciting on the B stream because they're going to be playing Nuke, LDLC, and Astralis on the new Nuke.
New Nuke?
Yeah.
Oh my God! We thought it was going to be a couple of days before we saw the new Nuke crop up, because that is something that's worth mentioning. Is that the new iteration of Nuke is already in play for both the Pro League, and I believe they announced it for Katowice as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Astralis let it through. You know, not just that they're a new team, but you're playing against LDLC. Like, just get rid of the map.
Yeah, why even
just ban Cobble and Nuke, and we'll beat them on any other map. I don't know what else. I actually really want to know what their second veto was after Cobblestone in that series.
In order to play Nuke.
What would you veto and leave Nuke in?
Maybe they just wanted to start with a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Mix it up.
I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump over back to our A stream. That's what you're watching here. And you get to go ahead and see another battle between G2 and FaZe. This time on Overpass. And FaZe are looking for some redemption.
Well, then that pretty much sums it up. Redemption indeed. They need a better start, undoubtedly, and to continue with the momentum that came sort of toward them in the second half against FaZe. And certainly need to pick up a W before they lose Shocks. We've touched on all these things, but now we need to see them put into motion.
I assume Smith will be playing instead of Shocks when the season kind of continues without him. That would make sense. He's the coach.
I forget if there was an announcement or not. It would make a lot of sense.
Obviously, he was a pro before. He was removed from the team, but here we go. It's going to be MBK opening things up. A good start, but maybe one that won't be around for too long as Rain is going in very aggressively. Apex somehow gets 2 out of that one. The P2000 finding all the headshots there. But Carrigan does do significant damage towards Shore, but this is the flank that looks the most tantalizing right now. MBK looking towards Monster Tunnel. Can't find the damage. Goes down to 2 HP himself. A 3-on-2 situation, but 2 players very, very low indeed. Bomb still needs to be planted here. Guardian spots 1. His teammate will go down, and that should be the round tied up. He could book it towards the A bomb site here. Oof, has been spotted. So what's the play? Shoxy already waiting from the other side of the map, as you just saw. And Saw, maybe, as well.
Yeah, that works.
It will be Guardian to find one more, that P2000. Looking for the ace now with 2 players with a grand total of 7 HP between them.
Decent shot. MBK, good start. Look at the HP. Shocks and MBK could have easily gone down in that situation, but they'll control it. Went down low pretty early on, to be fair. Still managed to get 2 kills and all of that.
Yeah, well, that was the difference maker there. If he only gets 1 there, FaZe probably win the round. But good positional control with the P2000, and there will be a force buy from FaZe. Remember, they did not get the bomb down there in the pistol, so they'll take the force buy here. Guardian and Carrigan being a little bit more modest with their purchases. Obviously, Guardian being the AWPer. Carrigan maybe just wanting to focus a bit more on utility going into the first gun round. But here we go. It will be FAMASes for Shoxy, Kenny S, and MBK. Missed throwing smoke there, though, from the CTs. A little bit more vision than they really would have expected there. Nico does get a nice trade with Desert Eagle. Remember, he's informed by... Gets a second as well, looking for 3. Is it enough? It's not. Kenny S will finally shut him down. That could have been the round then and there, but it's going to be Kenny S with second. Finds the bomb here, but still not out of dodge just yet. And it's the players all around him. Olaf Meister and Carrigan trying to find him, but Kenny S finds his 3rd of the round, and that should be it. All tied up, but Carrigan gets 1 kill, tags her body at the same time, so all of a sudden it does look somewhat possible if he had armor, which he was able to purchase, it could have been a little bit more exciting for him. But 1 minute remaining, CT's encroaching on his position. He should be dealt with momentarily. Perfect nade. You can see the lack of armor there really affecting him as he goes down to 15 HP.
And he's desperate to make up for it, as well as he sprays in with the FAMAS. Nearly collected body. Took him from 15 to 1, but still got found in the end. Goes G2, now 2 rounds, and FaZe will sit one more before they're able to purchase.
For Eco. Carrigan and Guardian with the extra cash, as you can see right there. They'll go for a deagle. Guardian doesn't purchase anything here, and MBK and Shoxy not taking any weaponry at all. They'll stay on the default USP with the armor, but this is fine. They obviously still have a huge advantage here, and you can see why. The one-tap potential of the USP, the fact they're up against Glocks, they've got armor themselves, they can still run around the map, be very mobile, and try and click those headshots. As MBK nicely demonstrated for me at the top of mid there. It's going to be a 5-on-3 now, and Rain with the only pistol that's been upgraded, Desert Eagle, and he'll be quickly dealt with. Kenny S continuing the good form of the FAMAS there. MBK is his second frag of the USP, so that's worked out quite nicely for him. Olaf holding towards the monster tunnel as he walks in towards B. The bomb is down towards T spawn, so not really much he can do with this one. Just looking to find one consolation frag as he makes his way in towards the site. Body spots him and get the kill, just about pulls it off, and there it is. Clean sweep for G2. Not really a bonus round going to the next one, because now they're going to upgrade those USPs, obviously. Kenny S throws over his FAMAS to Shoxy. MBK will take an M4, and they're in very good stead going into round number 4 here. Remember, this is the second best of 1 between these two teams. It was FaZe that ran away with the first one. They've already guaranteed themselves a win tonight. It's a separate best of 1 here, like a home and away sort of thing going on.
Yes,
and
the server conditions vary greatly.
Oh, absolutely. You'll see whether G2 can bounce back here. It's looking quite promising so far. Nades come through. Remember that aggression we saw on the CT side from G2 on Cash. Not really presenting the same methodology here, but we'll see whether MBK can shut down this long approach from FaZe.
Rain slowly working his way up toward Connector. It's MBK that has to be ready for him. Spots 1 and 2, but not the second kill. Olaf gets the trade back. 11 HP. Good work by NBK. Remember how good Rain is normally in that position. You'd think that he would be apt taking it down in reverse, but couldn't manage it. And Apex tagged. I think that came...
The AWP potentially,
Connector?
considering
Was
it's
it?
18 HP, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it must have been from Guardian.
Oh no, he's a long, so no, it wasn't.
I think it came from inside a Connector. I think it must have come from Olaf.
Well, there we go. He'll send him packing regardless, and they will find 4 kills here. Shoxy didn't even have to aim with that one. They just lined up for him, sprayed the FAMAS. I thought he was going down after getting 1, but gets the double kill, looking for the 4-0 now. Carrigan and Nico up against this boost. I like this boost. Apex low HP. Just put himself in a position where they only see his head. So if they nail that shot, he's going down regardless. So that's actually quite intelligent to get himself up there. 30 seconds remaining. What's the play here from FaZe? They even go for this round now. They just save the AK-47s. They've got a couple of smokes, a Molotov there. So it might be worth it, considering they'll have 4-stage loss bonus after this one. They won't get any money, Nico and Carrigan, that is, but their teammates will. So, might go for the save. Boosting up for now. They don't even have time really to go for this. Molotov out of position. Do they even go for it now? They will. Going in, Matt, but surely no chance. If Nico gets 1, bomb will be planted. So that's something. So they both go down, but they do manage to get the bomb down. And like I said, 4-6 loss bonus, the bomb going down means they can all buy into the next round. It means the extra $800 per player on the team. So we talked about that loss bonus, and now they should all be able to buy as we go forward in this one. But 4-0 definitely ringing true. Here's Shoxy. Like I said, didn't really have to do too much of this one. Nice spray control, absolutely, but they were lined up. Hook, line, and sync up. Round number 5, and they're not going to go all in. They're about 4K per player. They'll take a partial buy here, FaZe. So they're almost allowing it to go to 5-0, but you can still win these rounds almost certainly. It's going to be flashbangs, 1 smoke, 1 Molotov. Normally going towards B on these sort of plays, but we'll see what they decide to do. Carrigan flashing towards middle, push back any sort of aggression towards that area. Flashes the party position as well, trying to rush with the CZ. Got to give yourself enough time to assemble the pistol. He does. Kenny S actually misses the shot there, so he'll continue his push as he smokes the bathrooms as well. Just trying to show as much presence this side of the map as he can. He can see his teammates all ready to go in towards the B bomb site. We did think that would be a likely position for them. 2 frags for G2. This is falling apart quite quickly as Body finds a second on FAMAS. That's fine. He goes down. Apex is there ready and waiting to finish the round off and deny the bomb.
Good shot, Nico, over top of the half wall at least to get Apex. Wants the bomb plant. Not going to get it. 5-0 for G2. Maximum loss bonus at the very least for FaZe Clan. Try and take advantage of it. Guardian goes immediately onto the AWP. So G2 certainly are continuing on with the momentum that they... I ghosted. I was going to say, I don't know if that makes sense. That's not what I was... I'm looking for like wins and sale kind of reference. But,
yeah,
you know, they're continuing on with it on this CT side. All of the halves tonight, by the way, this being the third, have been very CT-sided so far between these two teams. Worthy of note.
But, G2 now, they like to change things up on Cash. This would be the perfect time to change things up once again. This time, 2 players towards long. I think this is a nice adjustment. They've shown a lot of presence towards the bathroom so far. KennyS will be baiting in MBK. He's just playing by the bicycle there. A lovely little bicycle as well. Good basket on the front. Keep all your baguettes in that.
Baguettes, bottles of alcohol.
Yeah. Lovely bottle of red, perhaps.
Caps out. Well, bottle's been broken, I'm afraid. He gets taken down 1 for 1. It's going to force, though, the AWP of Kenny all the way back inside of the site. Play park sign, still a good position. In fact, he's going to get a little more aggressive than that. He wants to take over bathrooms. No one spotted, and therefore nothing lost but nothing gained. He'll take back position to try and hold to see what Kerrigan and co will do. Speaking of Kerrigan, oh, nice shot. Finds him, but traded back immediately by Guardian.
Yeah, Guardian and KennyS locking horns there, but Guardian comes out on top. 3 on 3, 45 seconds remaining. 2 smokes, 3 flashbangs, the Guardian AWP up against the rifles of G2 now. Obviously, this favors the terrorists because you can see how thinly spread the CT defense will be. Shoxy waits in the bathrooms, trying to get a bit of intel here. Guardian seems to be 1 step ahead of them, though, looking tentatively towards that position. Doesn't want to commit just yet. Will he walk past without checking it? He doesn't, and oh my god, this is anyone's round now. So many close encounters here as Shoxy tries to loop the loop around them. It's going to be Rain to open things up, and that's actually towards A. So Shoxy still can shut this one down. Spots one, allows him to plant by the looks of things. Deep plant from Guardian. Wants to stop those flanking players come in. Shoxy, though, missing that. He's expecting to hit these kind of shots, but we know he's injured right now. 3 versus 1, Apex.
His wrist might hurt, but he still needs to hit some shots. I'll go with the injury. Yes, surgery is obviously impending, but he's still on the server, and unfortunately that one, I think, slipped away from him ever so slightly. Nico able to take out Apex. There we go. 5-1, so FaZe get on the board. 1 round after 5. At least with 2 guns carried over. Was one just... No, that was carried over. Excuse me. So it does give them a chance to build up some economy, but they are still facing a potential reset. More importantly, they saved the op.
They do. Shoxy, I thought, would at least get 1 kill there. Even into down Guardian, open the floodgates.
I get that he's injured. I 100% agree.
No, I know what you're going to say.
I don't really want it to be a crutch that we can just lay everything on. You know what I mean? He's still elected to play this week.
Yes.
And therefore, there must be some expectation, and I'm sure he would be still trying his utmost.
I'm sure he can still play. It's not like he's got to the point where he's completely crippled by the
exactly
the injury. Is when he has the surgery. Sure, he's be out for like 6 weeks then, because that's
100%.
That's when it's really an issue. But
and that's when I expect recovery time and then accuracy to fall off. And it may be in pain right now. And yes, okay, I've never gone through anything of that nature, but you know, as Chad said, even DMing, he gets it probably to some extent. It is harder to flick and be quick and whatnot, but when you're on top of someone holding down the button and spray patterns, that shouldn't be the biggest of issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to be another aggressive push. We did mention on Cash, this was a common stance from G2, is working out very well for them on the CT side. Will it pay dividends once again? Guardian ready and waiting. Defensive AWP works out, blows the head off Shoxy there, and it will be a 5-on-4 at the very beginning of the round. KennyS, though, still visible. Going to be holding towards the party position. Apex in front of him, so I don't think Apex is long for this world. Guardian actually spotted him there, didn't register. They saw him, the bomb will go down. It can be a tricky shot. You can see the helmets do blend into the scenery of the map. Body looking towards Connector, almost guaranteed to get this frag if Rain decides to come round, but the timing is just perfect. As soon as Rain goes in the corner, Body falls back. KennyS down to 1 HP. Takes 99 damage, lives to tell the tale. That's a nice little flashbang there. I like that a lot off the light itself. 4-on-4, and Guardian looks like he's in the perfect position. Okay, he's not in the he's in the perfect position, not the perfect shot. MBK somehow outduels him there. 4-on-3. Round and round we go. This will be a harsh reset for FaZe if they lose this one. KennyS. Orpa, not too much of a big deal with the fact he has 1 HP. He's at the 1-shot AWP, right? So if he just holds positions, now's his shot, he should be taking them down before they have a chance. So this is not the worst setup in the world. 25 seconds. No real utility to speak of. It's a Molotov. No smokes to really push back the CTs here. Kenny just looking for that 1 kill, stay alive as long as possible. That's the aim of the game right now.
things up. Kenny's still sitting patiently, waiting for them to walk. Oh my goodness, around. I think he was expecting the further angle, not the close one. Rain takes his head off. Apex pulls one back, paints a second as well, as he finds Olaf standing at the top of the stairwell. That'll certainly bode well for their chances on the retake. Just Nico, but Nico is swift. Down to a one-on-one.
Oh,
can't land the spray.
He had
Tried
one
to
bullet
actually
left,
control
I
it.
think. I'm not 100% sure. I think he had 2 bullets left and he had to take the final shot on Apex there. That's why he kind of...
Apex is looking for a kit.
No,
He's looking for the op. Okay, I'm sorry. He's got a kit. My mistake.
It's all fine.
I'm looking at the monitor. Why I'm doing this to myself? This is not. This is not a production fault. This is me being an idiot fault. I'm looking at the screen that is literally on the other side of the room when there's one, like a foot in front of me.
Yeah, you should be looking at this
Yeah,
one. It's easier.
I couldn't see the kit on that one. That's my fault.
Oh, there we go. It will be, like we said, the harsh reset for FaZe, but they do get the bomb down. If they wanted to force this, they could. I think that would be a very difficult decision to understand why they would do that, but they're going to go for the save. That's the correct one to make. It's still early days in the game. Looks a bit grim right now, but still they can pull this one back and even win the half still. So don't get too ahead of ourselves. Nico with the Desert Eagle in hand. We'll be looking to open things up if anyone gets aggressive here, but GCU should know they're up against an Eco, at least a partial buy, so they'll just be holding back in defensive positions. You don't want to give them any sort of window of opportunity here. Keep that firmly shut. Oh my god, Olaf Meister, that was disgusting. Goes towards the B-bomb site and takes one down with the Desert Eagle. MBK through smoke though. Gives Nico equal treatment that. Body with the second kill. And what looked like it could be a little uncomfortable there. Starts to fall apart slowly but surely for FaZe. MBK definitely gets this kill, but remember, FaZe are very handy with the Eagles. Maybe not handy enough though, as Kenny S finds the third kill. This will be the coup de grace, but it will be Carrigan to keep the dream alive here by the looks of things. He'll have the PD-50 in his back pocket, the M4 in hand, bomb in his back, and he runs towards B. He's looking to get a plant down now. Unlikely he does anything more with this round. Is he looking for an entry point? So Monster's going to be where he decides to go, trying to take the vision away from Heaven as he makes his way towards the bomb site there. But should be Shoxy to take him down. There it is. 7-1 again. We had this in the reverse manner on the first map.
We did, but both on the CT side, just to make note. Kenny's quick. He's certainly going to have to step up and consider. I mean, he's already playing a lot better than he was sort of 6 months ago, I think. But without shocks, yeah, a lot rides on him, I think.
He looked nuts in the major in the first few sectors. Kenny was back, but certainly simmered down as he got to the playoffs. It will be Kenny, though, facing towards middle once again. Knows up against Guardian, who holds that real high angle towards the bottom of the stairs there. And yes, might want to consider getting back here. As we saw, it looked like Cameron was going to take him down. And it will be Rain to get the second kill of the round. It's looking much better now for FaZe as they get everything going in their favor. 7-2, certainly coming in now. Shoxy just trying to deny anything he can. As he holds towards the B-bomb site, he'll be having the knife out, flashbangs on his face. Nico hot on his tail. We'll take him down. Like I said, any kills at this point are worthwhile. If he can find 2 or 3, that would be great. Ray Guardian finds the final frag, and it will be 7-2. Money should be... Oh, actually not. G2 actually with a few tight clutches there and rounds where they haven't kept many players alive and lots of weapons having to be dropped. They've got 3 players believe $2,000. So that's going to be MBK, Apex, and indeed Shoxy. So I'll take the eco. Full eco. Nothing purchased, not a single dollar. That's round of 10. 5 players towards the connector here. Rain probably gets 2 or 3. Maybe he just gets to 5. Okay, that's sick. Alright.
It's pretty unreal. That's not a bad way to get an ace that quickly. Just shut him down instantly.
Like, everyone thinks like you should have got more hype there. It's a full eco and they're all at the same location with the Molotovs out. It's really cool and really well played, but who's going to win the round? I only get super hyped when there's like it's a play like that when there's a chance you could have lost the round and you kind of saved it. But it's Rain getting it done. It's over and done with quickly. G2 are fine with that, and they're going to bring out the Norb. And still a difficult buy for them. A couple of Promises and a UMP. Kenny goes down with the nade combo from Carrigan.
Yeah, I was saying a double nade all the way through. No tag, just 2 nades. That'll do it. And BK wants the AWP back, but he's going to go fighting immediately. Well done. As he strikes down Olaf from just below the ledge he was standing on. That's risky. Apex gets the second off back, and he also finds a kill, so it's the secondaries. However, Carrigan had to line up from back towards spawn, catches him out through Monster. Rather linear corridor.
Yeah, even the smoke down, he get sprayed through that. So, exciting round here. I like this. This is better than the previous, even though there's no 5-man spray down. And there will be a 2-on-2 situation left over. 1 minute remaining. In round number 11, FaZe turning up the heat now. Shoxy and Body left with not a lot to work with. You can see there's a FAMAS for Shoxy, no kit. Just one flashbang as he pushes towards the connector. He will have Rain and Carrigan to deal with here. They're both heading towards long right now. Both players meet up. They have got utility. 2 smokes, Molotov, flashbangs, pretty much everything they need to get up to this A site. They throw a smoke towards Bank, probably CT spawn, Molotov the truck, and make their way towards the site. They could go for a very passive play. There's a Molotov towards the truck, smoke towards Bank, and Shoxy, if he times as well, could find both of them, but I don't think he will. He sees the back of Carrigan. He'll throw a flashbang in. No smoke towards CD spawn, actually focusing on pushing towards that position. Carrigan's really taken down here. Shoxy finds him. Rain, good kill. He has a real chance to win this one now. 34 HP, going aggressive here. That was the chance to close it out, but still alive. Good flashbang coming in. Shoxy, there it is. AK-47 picked up, wins the round, wants to fight an AWP before he goes for that defuse, taking a little bit of time.
He's going a bit far here.
He won't be able to find. I think just get on that defuse now before things get a little bit worrying, but there it is. His teammates can think about where the AWP should be. Defuse will be very comfortable still, don't worry about it.
8-3, more importantly, they get the round. He's going to go searching still for the op. I'll update you or inform you on whether or not he gets to one.
Good work by Apex. So when you've got those weapons like the FAMAS, the UMP, you might as
way.
well throw a spanner in the works there, go aggressive, push through the smoke. And that's exactly what they did. They weren't expecting it. Apex first kill the UMP, takes down the AWPer. Looks towards a short pipe, finds the AWP, takes another kill down, funnels them towards A. They ultimately win the round.
Their lack of ability to find one of the 2 ops means that Guardian has one and they do not.
Yeah, indeed.
So keep that in mind because Guardian might be able to work wonders with it. Olaf already out toward long, and he'll actually clear back toward the fountain, make sure that no one's gone for the aggressive smoke and pick play. And he'll babysit. He'll hold the angle. He'll make sure it's covered off to make sure that no one can push down long, get away that map control from the terrorist side, and then get an early rotation. In fact, they already are going for an early rotation. That's due to the fact that they've seen utility, so it'll be 3 to B and 2 very passively on A. This gives a lot of room to FaZe to work with. BK has other plans, at least, to not fully concede, submit all grievances in the bathrooms. In fact, he holds quite well, considering he's with a FAMAS. Follow that up, that Kenny's able to slide out, pick up a kill on top of it. They go out 2 for 1, plus damage on Olaf. An aid through the smoke won't catch the rest of the 20 HP that he has left, but Kenny will hunt him down. In fact, switching off, good play from Apex. Switching off the AWP is Kenny to the M4. I say that. There was no AWP, it was the AK that Shox had that was carried, so Carrigan nonetheless. Nice to find out. 1 pick in the site, can't do it. Apex with the kill, and it's Nico. It is Nico. Yeah. Give it that, but has a 1 versus 3 to try and work. And they've already rotated around the control long, so even if he wants to fall back toward the bathrooms in the post plant, it'll be a fast rotation from Apex. I know exactly where he is. 16 seconds, and he's got to go for the plant immediately. He'll try and do so on the truck. That'll cover him off from long, but he's not confident in knowing how far away they are. And unfortunately, no bomb plant means no extra money, and the round to G2.
He was just hoping for mistakes to be made there by G2. Goes to the fake plant. Didn't really have time to do much with it, though. Doesn't get the bomb planted, but still the money's okay. It's actually reasonably strong on the FaZe side. 9-3. They really get an AWP once again, but so will Kenny S at this point. He has to purchase it himself. So still struggling here. G2 just lose one of these rounds. The 9-6 half still very possible. Carrigan takes the only compromise on the T side there with the CZ. Nico, I guess he is one as well. He's got no utility whatsoever. Maybe that's a good thing. Let him have his guns out. Not throwing a grenade. They're going for a contact B play here to wait for those flames to go down. And then they'll push in as a squad. Body, very good anchor for G2, but he's going to find himself overwhelmed. That flashbang is perfect. He'll get one. Olaf Meister answers back in due course, but still, this could all fall apart. Shoxy comes into the fray now, and he gets 1 kill back, and 4th we go. Olaf Meister with 2 kills so far, make it 3. He's on low HP, but MBK shut the round down. His Guardian will drop. Olaf Meister needs the ace to close things out. Can't do it. 10-3, no bomb down. Should be the eco for FaZe here. Well played by Body, though. He spotted like 2 or 3 players, waited behind the barrels. Luckily, no Molotov thrown towards his position. Waiting for the flashbang, perfectly timed. Only gets 1, but it slows him down so much. It looks so discombobulated at that point. And they have to take the eco here, surely. They can maybe get a couple of Deagles and PT-50s. That'll be about it. CZ for Guardian. And they will have no armor, no nades. So this is so strange how the first map went. Like you said, very strong CT half so far. And G2 looking likely to take the second map here in this matchup, but you never know. The Deagles and CZ can always be a bit of a threat, as you can see from that interaction just there.
And that's a gun picked up. No armor, mind you, to go with it. But Kenny has missing shots. You're right, he could well go down. And an AWP now gets into the arsenal, the repertoire for FaZe on approach. Good shot, at least to drop the bomb. Apex and Shox will hold true. 20 HP for Shox to play in behind the truck. He's unaware that Olaf had swung all the way around behind him, so it comes to just body. And I was about to mention that FaZe had at least done one better than G2 did on their T side in the previous map. They may still get another on this because they've got the HP advantage. Olaf, though, without the armor, gets aim punched off on the first bullet, and it will at least go to 11-3.
Did you see how that smoke didn't quite land deep enough in CT's spawn, which gave body vision? As you can see right there, on the left-hand side, if that smoke was thrown correctly, he wouldn't have won that round because he wouldn't have had vision to jump up there and actually see the player towards bank. He had no idea he could be pushed by CT spawn. Looking for the orbs once again. Money's still not comfortable for CTs, but he can't find it. He can't work out where it is. Presumably it's on the site.
Where it is. I wonder
Kenny
if they
died by
threw
bathrooms, right? He's ahead of him. That's where it was. We saw Kenny go down there. So you can see that smoke, he can come up there cleanly. He should not be able to do that. The smoke's deep enough, that's not a problem. He jumps up and they didn't know. The communication bit off there. Guardian should at least be aware that was a possibility.
They had to buy it. They didn't find it.
And he's got no armor again. So yeah, we saw him go down towards bathrooms.
And it was picked up.
Pistol, so surely
but
Kenny's
it was picked up, and I'm wondering if they
threw
threw it away or if it was further back in bathrooms and they didn't realize.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I was confused by that too. I would have thought it would have been easily accessible at the front side of the site.
Either way, final round of the first half here. 11-3. Body opens things up. Great half from him.
I wonder if it's where MBK was now. It was in behind the flower planter, and they couldn't see it.
Oof. Either way, still a difficult buy for GT. You wouldn't have thought so with 11-3 on the scoreboard right now, but every buy's been pretty dire for them. Full buy though for FaZe. This bonus racks up. They have lost the opening pick up. Nico, not his best showing so far, I have to say. We'll see whether he can recover things in the second half. He probably will go all 30 rounds, considering 12-3 in Pro League is a very strange and bizarre scoreline. It seems to go overtime every time we see it. But for now, Rain using the little trash can there to his best advantage. MBK take him down, a little bit of a cheeky one-way smoke there. Won't be too happy about that. 50 seconds remaining. Kenya is trying to pick up the pieces here.
He's got the angle held. Oh, he wants more though. Don't get greedy. A player directly beside him in the bathrooms. I'm not sure he is entirely clued into the fact that he's so close. Certainly checks it. He'll consider all options. Good shot. Kerrigan gets shocked back, and then Olaf does take down Kenny. So 12-3 may not be where we end. We may actually get 11-4 after all. As well on Body's foot. Guardian's able to collect the shot immediately after, and it's just on to Apex. He does not have a kit. Keep in mind, so if this bomb gets planted, which it will do now, he's got to work quickly. Thankfully, he's hot on the heels of their positioning. It catches off Guardian before he can retreat. Smoke on it. Kit available. Grabs it on the way by. He'll hold this now, I bet. Flash in. Oh, okay, fair enough. He's going to fake it out and try and bait Olaf into it. He's going to spray that smoke as well. Catch him in the reload, but he's got enough of an angle to fall off. Olaf's got very few bullets left. He'll swap guns rather than swap out the magazine. And a fair shot means a fair round one. 11-4.
Well, there it is. Lots of clutches there, Matt. Lots of tight situations. FaZe definitely not doing the scoreboard justice there. Like the fact that they managed to bring it down to so many 1v1s, 2v1s that weren't going in their favor. It could have been a much closer game, and that was reflected on the economy of G2. They're struggling throughout there. But finally, a clutch goes in FaZe's favor, and Overpass are managing to pick it up. It was a nice play by Apex, though. The smoke on the bomb made it very uncomfortable for Olaf Meister, but he manages to come out on top. Will be 11-4 in the first half. It's still a great showing from G2. Remember, it is, though, a CT-sided map. Carrigan 7-13. At the top is Rain 15-12. Shoxy 12-9. Apex 16-11. That's the top and bottom of each team. And we'll see who are the top performers when it really counts in the second half here. Pressure on FaZe to win this pistol. If they don't, could be a very quick map indeed. But there's always a way to make things happen with these silent USPs. Very powerful at long range, and they'll be pushing towards long and middle. Guardian to face. Guardian used to be an avid P2000 user. It's interesting he's gone to the USP these days. He's one of the few pros that always use P2000. Rain, though, no stranger to that weapon either, as he finds two lovely headshots there towards long. Aggressive, of course, and finds a 5-on-3.
Great start for FaZe. We could see a similar mounted comeback as what we saw, or at least attempted comeback as what we saw on the first map. NBK does trade off with Guardian. It's the first kill they've gotten in the round. That a trade, with that being the case, still leaves them down by 2. So NBK and Kenny to work together. Kenny gets further damage dealt to him from Rain inside of the site as well. Down to 49 as Olaf waits to see if they rotate back around. Spots up MBK. Doing just that, he'll force him back toward A. Or at least the thought of it. Fakes that he's gone back up the stairs. Nico taking down Kenny. I mean, it's just the waiting game at this point in time for MBK. And Nico doesn't want to wait long. He'll take matters into his own hands to end the round. We go 5 now for FaZe, but they'll have a chance to, with no bomb plant especially, get that up towards 7.
There we go.
And then we'd have your favorite place to get a hot dog, 7-Eleven as our score.
7-11, that could be happening. Who knows? It will be Glocks though for G2. Nothing purchased whatsoever, managing to at least get something out of the previous round. We'll see whether they can do anything with this. They probably force buy in the next round, I would imagine. Nico to find the first. I don't think many kills will be found on the team side whatsoever. There we go, Mass doing work. USP will come out. Be able to finish things off here. Rain will find the bomb. Kenny has his body. It won't matter.
Oh my goodness. That's rather unfortunate for Kerrigan.
Yeah, the Glock taking him down.
Rubber bullets.
So, this is a strategy G2 often play. They don't get the bomb down in the pistol. They'll go for a full eco in the second round and try and win out in the third. It's unorthodox, and G2 one of the few teams doing it, and RBs sometimes run it as well. It used to be quite prevalent in 1.6, but we'll see whether this works out at all for G2. As you can see, it's actually not a bad stance to be in, because you've got 4 Galils, head armor, a little bit of utility, but in terms of the CT setup, it just depends on what they've got. They've focused on SMG, you can have a real chance to take them down here, but it's certainly a gamble. One could pay off. Missed nade there by Olafmeister. If he got in the pipe, might have done some damage. Shoxy looking to open things up as he creeps up towards Shaw. Surely gets this kill. There it is, guaranteed. Olafmeister caught his pants down there. Nico with 1, but that's all he'll find. And the force buy from G2 working out very nicely indeed. These Galils can be fierce in the right hands. Number 3 looking very good for them right now with the bomb still on the side. MBK finally brings it in. His Guardian swings in from heaven. He will be able to pop everybody up. What's he doing that for? He stood in the open.
Yeah, I don't think he was aware, perhaps, that he was exposed that far out. You have to back up to the drain filtration, drain pipe, whatever I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Those doors. Yeah, and to not be fully exposed, he may not have been aware, and then just was one step too far forward. Guardian. Good shot to Kenny, but it's Kerrigan that's going to take out Apex, and they'll get the round as well. So FaZe now make it 7-11, as we said.
Bizarre scenes from G2. Their body was in a great position, but a little bit too far forward and got spotted from heaven. I don't think FaZe could believe their luck they were rotating in. They lost the first 2 kills, the 4 on 3, and then G2 just kind of keeled over. Didn't really do much at all on the retake. 7-11 indeed, and it looks like the game is on. We could have a real chance here of all the rounds as the Deagles will come out. Not really much else purchased. Remember, it was a force buy in the previous. This should be the first gun round, but G2 opted for the early buy, which was a good call, but couldn't hold themselves in the post-plant situation. Guardian can in this round, though, as he takes on MBK. That's an orb shot toward the T-steps, and not as fall back. They've ascertained it's just pistols now. Got the opening pick. Let's fall back, have some crossfires.
Just waiting patiently as well toward water. Good shot from Rain. Making that FaMoss look rather sexy from afar. The only game I think I ever played with the FaMoss was prevalent. In fact, to the point where they had to ban it in the competitive rule set was Black Ops 2. Let's not go down that road, shall we? Apex will also run into the same fate. So a 3 kill from the FaMoss, even still. Oh, I thought he was going to get rid of it, but he'll swap out for pistols. He elects to carry it over. We'll now have 3 rounds between us, and the match is paused again. G2, emphasis on winning games in week 1. They have to be successful in doing so before they lose Shocks and have to play out the rest of Pro League, as you say, presumably with Smiths. The coach standing by.
That would make the most sense to me. Like, he was the an active pro last year. So, well, was it towards the end of 2016 he was in Room? I can't remember. Maybe the
Well, when
beginning
this
of
team was
2017.
formed, he jumped in his coaching role, which was the December of 2016.
Right,
No,
so yeah.
sorry. Was it after the major, after E-League major last year?
Okay, so January 2017.
I think that's correct.
So yeah, he still obviously plays CS, he'll be like kind of actively pugging and stuff, and probably doing like rank S and things like that, so I'm sure he's still active. The Krieg comes out again, Matt, for G2. It's going to be MBK. It really seems to be peddling the idea that it can become a real thing. I might tweet him afterwards and ask him about it. We'll see what he says. You know, he likes to get into debates with me sometimes.
Sorry? Who's this?
MBK and the Krieg.
MBK. Oh, true.
Yeah.
He's usually a vocal lad.
Yeah, let's see. I'll ask him later and see what he says.
Natural Born Killer versus Henry Grizzle, round 1.
Oh, we've lost a player. Uh-oh. This one might be void.
Minute 29, no damage. They could actually call stop to this.
Yeah, and Rain's running around the knife, so I think they will call it.
Well,
So
Bomb's gone back to spawn, so 2 of 3 out of 5 T players.
it's Guardian that's dropped out. So, yeah, we'll give him a chance to get back in the server.
Nah, let's not. No, we will, of course. Just to note, NBK. That's the... I know you just mentioned this, but I think that's the... I'm trying to do the math. 4th Krieg buy. There was 2 in 1 round, then another in a third. This is the 4th one over the 2 maps, so it's definitely something
So
there.
it definitely has its benefits. Like, we'll just talk about it again, seeing as it's another map. It does have better first bullet accuracy over range than the AK-47.
Yes. 0 follow. So just to touch on that specifically, a lot of the theory around using this gun, a lot of people say would be at long windows too.
Yes,
for
with a hit
example.
towards the bomb site, something like that. So you could like just sit there with the bomb down and be able to out-duel most M4s and even AWPers sometimes with the scope you have. That's a bit of a benefit as well on certain angles. It only costs $300 more, same kill rewards in terms of when you find a frag, what money you get as the AK-47. It definitely kind of begs the question why it's not used more. $300 is almost nothing really on the T side there. You just don't buy an HE grenade, you get a Krieg instead. But I guess it just hasn't really been embraced at all. No one's really had a tournament where they've used it a lot. Wow, that gun can actually be insane. So until someone does that, I don't think you'll see many teams using it. It was Major Spoy when he was in North, and maybe to some extent
Even in
SK or something like that before he joined North. But he used it, but I never really saw him do anything
right,
worthwhile
yeah, the previous SK lineup
Yeah.
before when they had Freeze, Madi,
yeah,
and
Cadian.
basically the heroic, or what became heroic with just departing to go to Dignitas at the time. I think that, you know, even back to 1.6, the AUG and the Krieg were not used very often.
Yeah, the AUG is a little bit more expensive. I think that's 3,300 if I'm not mistaken. It's like,
Well, CT-sided weapons
yeah,
always are.
people might tweet me saying
Buying
you should
things
know this
legally
stuff,
instead
but
of
like,
from a
it's
black
just not
market
part of it,
typically
yeah.
costs more, right?
Yeah, that's true.
When you have to pay taxes and go through all these gun registration laws,
Yep,
it's usually a little more expensive.
there it is on the screen right there. A bit of a rusty
Legislation.
one. But scope on the top, little 2-time scope.
Well, we're going to do a quick restart of the server, Henry. The conditions are not suitable.
Not right now.
Meteorologist Henry G giving us the update.
Well, it's pretty good overall. We did have one player drop out, but in terms of the ping, the loss, and
choke.
indeed the lag and the choke, it's all looking good. It's just one connection issue. The server issue is actually absolutely fine. It's Guardians. Up and down connection. I believe it lives in Norway now. They should have good internet over there. But overall, it seems like he dropped out. And we're just going to be restarting that and making sure everything's absolutely fine. So you have to look at our ugly mugs for a little bit.
What has happened?
Just that lovely grease in your hands just taking control. But
Organic grease. I like
organic
to call
grease,
it.
yeah, it's true. It's the best kind. But yeah, we'll take a quick break here as well. We won't take a break overall. We'll take a quick pause of the action.
Getcha. I'm with you.
But Guardian was back in the server. He should be on any moment now. If you're just joining us, we had Cash kick things off, the inaugural game of Pro League Season 7. That was a one-sided affair to some extent. 13-2 in the first half, but GT looked much better in the second half. We said they can carry that form over to this map. They'll do much better, which they did. 11-4 in the first for them.
Absolutely, and again, touching with those numbers, CT side has been dominant throughout the course of the evening, which is a bit surprising when you see the top teams. Usually, it's a little more even, a little more balanced. You see tactical discipline coming into it and finding map control, etc. But it just hasn't gone that way. It hasn't gone to plan. So interesting to note that that both teams are struggling to get things going offensively.
Do we feel like after the major, a lot of teams took a big break and they kind of?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, yeah, it's been 2 weeks. essentially, give or take some change in there. I think a couple days more than 14. But since that major obviously concluded, some of these teams would have been out sooner than that and would have had a few more days off. And some of these teams obviously in Pro League weren't even at the major. But specifically about these two teams in that question, yeah, I think it's entirely possible. I think that obviously coming in from Christmas, heading straight into the major, there was some rust for a few teams. I think as well, just to touch on that, I think that the break this year was compounded by the fact that the calendar is, and a buzzword for some people, is so saturated right now that unlike some breaks, and I know Yanko made the argument, it's like riding a bike, and I agree with that, but I think this year in specific, I mean, I know I can relate to it, and it seems like most people I've talked to, because of how busy the last 2 years have been, everyone completely let go over Christmas this year. Completely put it out of sight, out of mind. And in many ways didn't even have the thought process that wasn't like riding a bike because they just didn't want to ride the bike. So
I guess with the problem we have in CSGO is there's no clear calendar for the entire year. A major can be announced like 3 months before it even happens. Like we could hear in November, like, oh, the major's happening in January now. So any plans you had to like take time off in January, maybe that was your break, you're like, well, that's all done for now. Like in Dota, for example, they have like, the whole year roadmap planned out at the very start. They have all their majors, their minors. They know exactly what's coming. They know what tournaments they can afford to miss out on, what they're going to be attending. CSGO is a bit different. We're still kind of developing where we're going to be in a few months' time.
We've been saying that for a while, unfortunately. No, you're right. There's so many tournament organizers that keep cropping up in the middle of what is, behind the scenes is a fairly, I won't say well-formulated, but a thought-out calendar at least. There is a calendar. There's a bit of a roadmap. It's just always loose, and with the online stuff,
well, the thing is, as soon as we have a break available, a new tournament organizer goes,
they go, oh, that's us.
Let's say, like, not calling them out specifically, but Blast, for example, they can see, well, we've got some breaks in the calendar here. We're trying to make our tournaments now, we can slot in here quite nicely. That does work to some extent, but overall it just means every gap we have does get filled eventually, and it might just be 2 months notice before that happens.
No, sure. And yeah, I think, but more to the point of with the break and with the teams coming in a little slower, I think that it was more of a hibernation period almost this Christmas. I think a lot of people definitely just put it out of sight. And coming into the major, that I would have thought that a little bit of a shaky start would have got them back on the road and they would have moved forward. And I would have thought they would have kept grinding after the majors, being that they just had the break. But it is foreseeable, especially for a team with Shocks, who's injured. FaZe, who unfortunately suffered a heartbreaking loss to Cloud9, thinking that this was their major, arguably their best chance to win a major, with SK being hindered with Phelps, that they didn't want to pick up the mouse and keyboard again right away. So there is some theory to that, and especially where the major, I think, was highly contested and a lot of effort went into it from everyone this time around.
Absolutely. Even like the teams, like we didn't expect to make anything happen at the major whatsoever. You talk about the teams like Avantgarde and like Vega, for example. QBF, like teams you didn't even think you have to look at. I didn't even learn that team whatsoever. I go into that, I thought they're not going to do anything, but obviously they've been working hard as well. We're getting to that point in CS where skill won't cut it anymore. There's so many different elements that come through that make it a very exciting landscape at this very point. So CS overall is in a good place, but players still learning how to manage that time and work out, is it worth us stepping back from this one event, right? I still feel like that's something they need to kind of manage themselves and work out. Maybe it is okay just to sit back from this 10-day long event. Like, say we've got Star Series coming up next week. Is it worth stepping back from that one and focusing on something?
And that's where you would argue that the major system having the legend status for certain teams, knowing that they're going to be in the next major, they are the teams that can elect to take some off, whereas other teams need to grind out and get ratings to get invites, etc. It really is without a concurrent circuit that works together in a formula. It's hard to say, hey, we can skip that event because we don't need the rating to get invited to another one, because who's to say Star Ladder is standalone, or if it's not? Maybe there are tournament organizers that are going to look at that Star Ladder performance and say, hey, they finished top 4. We want them at our next event. They don't have to qualify next time. Whereas you skip that. Now, if you do want to go, you've got to go through a long qualifier. It's a big topic. We've got a big desk. So why don't we bring in some big personalities with us?
Big brains, big hearts,
big hair.
Big hair.
Big hair.
Yeah. Can we make this a spaceship? I know Alex was thinking of lair, but I thought this could be a spaceship. I really like where we were going with that conversation, but I think this would be better as a spaceship.
Okay, is he the captain?
Yeah, he's in the middle.
Get anywhere on time.
Henry, what's the outlook? What's the schedule?
Yeah.
We have to be
Be there for 3 o'clock, Alex. Oh, sorry, no, 2 o'clock, sir. 2 o'clock.
I'd sit in the chair and just kind of stare off into space, I think. I think I should sit down. This makes me feel very beautiful. Everyone's just looking at me.
Makes you feel more attractive.
Yeah, I've been told to stand
you
back up.
always were about the
they
center of
didn't like
attention,
that.
Alex.
I was just trying to
Give
be
you
the captain.
Gravitational pull. We're all just being...
You calling me a moon?
Well, Henry's looking at the weather. Henry can be like the guy checking out the planets before we
I'm
land.
making sure that the server conditions on our forward path are going to be correct, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, I am actually receiving word. It's in this here, so hang on, wait, let me just try again. I am receiving word that they are just doing a match medic, and with the server conditions will be prime.
Okay, what was the actual issue?
Well, obviously,
I'm so glad you asked, Henry.
obviously on your obviously on your spaceship, Matt would be the pilot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
makes
true. Yeah,
sense.
Matt will be driving.
You would
As long
be
as he's got a
you'd be
steering
like the
wheel.
engineer.
Joystick, I'm not very good with
You fix
joystick.
all the
Henry's better at
servers and stuff,
joystick.
right?
Yeah, engineer.
Yeah.
Engineer.
Definitely.
I don't know what I'd be doing
This
then.
guy fixes every tech issue we've ever had.
You could be like the liaison between other ships and stuff.
Oh.
You go and make sure that everyone we're friendly. They know
Okay.
it.
Networking, yeah,
Okay.
communications,
But he could be
communications
like
engineer.
the ambassador for meeting new races.
Yeah,
you
exactly,
know?
right.
Chad would be like the example of humanity.
And I
Well,
guess
yeah.
Matt would be in charge of the weapons. Right? He'd be kind of like the general kind of
Feels right.
strategizing the attacks. and
Yeah,
working out
I
the
got my
weapons
finger
and
on the nuke button and it is bigger than everyone's.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what
I'm
Chad
ready.
could do is, like, when we meet different alien races, he could have like a system, like a star, you know, by their name when he feels like they provide something towards our adventure.
Yeah,
Talking about-
yeah, that does
Yeah.
sound interesting.
Comms technician,
Yeah.
engineer.
All right, well,
Well, I've never seen Fred, by the way. You know how you asked that
Masterminds.
question, Henry, is what it was?
Yeah.
So glad you asked. One player has been having some
Which player
issues
was it?
connecting to the server.
Guardian.
It was actually Guardian.
yeah. I knew that was an
Can we
issue.
get little robots on our spaceship that like
I
run
would
around?
love a robot.
It's
Yeah.
only going to be robots besides us.
Should we get back on the Matt's topic?
Talking
or
of
I
robots.
derailed real hard. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but, I mean, Henry brought up a point about teams taking breaks after the major where they just had one, and I think the teams were so grinded down or worn down after last year. I think that the break this time certainly hit harder.
I've been very vocal about Valve's decision to place majors just after player breaks. It seems very ridiculous in my mind.
Foolish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing as well. I just don't like the fact we don't have the roadmap. You know, we don't know what's going to happen the entire year. A major can be announced like 2-3 months before it happens. It's like, oh, that's changed everything now. Everyone's just focused on the major. Let's not go to this event. I just like I said, Dota. I think they've got to kind of work out for
pretty
themselves.
sweet.
They've got the minors and the majors at the beginning of the year. They know exactly what's coming up. I think that's really cool. I would like to see that.
It's nice, but on their example, I think they have too many of them.
Yeah,
really.
probably,
It's
yeah.
like
Sure.
when you count in the qualifiers, they have so much stuff overlapping and so on. But I think, you know, talking about the player breaks and players going for a vacation after the major, I can, you know, relate to that to an extent because I feel for us as well, because we do most of the events, you don't look at like months or like, you know, time becomes truly relative. And it's just about when is that I will have 2 weeks that I will not have to work. For players, it's work in terms of playing the game, you know, playing Pro League or going to a tournament or something along those lines. So there was a week, if you went right after the major for a week, you can go on a vacation and you're still back. You have like 10 days or so before the official games start. You can get
The
back.
thing is,
you
though,
can
with
practice.
vacation, like it's such a loose term in this work we do because as soon as you get time off, you don't want to be on a plane again traveling somewhere else. You just want to sit at home.
I go home
and play
every time.
games.
I just go
Like,
home for 2
I
weeks.
didn't leave the house. That's
Alex,
what I
how long
did.
did we do that for? I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
mine was
we-
about almost 6 weeks.
I had about, so it turns out that doing what Henry's talking about is really good for 2.5. I've counted it perfectly. 2.5, being like a human slug just playing video
Playing
games.
games.
Yeah, I was getting to the end
As
of it
soon
after,
as you get to that, once you cross that threshold, suddenly you're just sitting there like,
I don't know.
horrible
I was
human
peaking at 10
being.
days. I was
I feel
going
like
to
a-
pull me off
yeah,
the
I like it
kill me
shorter.
off. Like,
I think to the point too. And this isn't to. I mean, we all travel a lot, players and us, but I think that us as talent actually spend more time away from home because we have to be in studio. And for Pro League, they can be there. So for them, you know, I want to go home on my time off because A, I don't have to fly, and B, I'm not there ever. They're there already, and they're doing work there essentially from home or from the office, and their computers are
Extra
there.
time
So for
away.
them, they want to get away. It's a little bit different in that mentality, I think.
I could understand the FaZe players after that grand final. You definitely want to go away somewhere
Yeah.
to a different planet, preferably. But
I saw Nico's pictures. He was on the
I
beach.
think the preparation topic you guys touched on while we were moving down to join you is interesting because I tweeted at MSL a while ago because they obviously made the roster changes in North, and he always talks about preparation and motivation and excuses and so on. So I legitimately asked him, so optimally, how much would you like to have to prepare for a tournament with a new lineup? And he said 3 weeks, and I was impressed because for me 3 weeks isn't that long of a time,
I guess when
really.
the system's already been developed and it's not a fresh team,
Integrating
it's just to
with
slot them into it,
Yeah.
and they're going to be focusing on 5 maps. I can see that with a lot of work and working out, especially with a player you're familiar with already, so that could be okay.
I guess it's also because they all understand the game on a
Sure.
decent level, so
Yeah.
it's not as difficult.
Captain,
I'm afraid we're going to have to go into the fray once more.
All right, what do they say?
here we go.
Leap
cannons.
speed? What is it called?
Warp into light
Warp
speed.
speed. Engaged.
a thing.
And we're going to see the Krieg come out back again for MBK. We should have spoken about the Krieg when these guys were here. That would have made...
Oh, yeah, that would have been a good conversation as well. We'll get them in on that one next time.
But we'll get into the next round. Stop laughing over there. As we come into it, I can't remember the score. It was like 11-7 or something like that.
It was 11 to... I think it was 8-11, actually, at that point in time. I could be wrong on that. Definitely we hit 7-11 at one point in time in there.
I need to watch more Star Trek, then I would actually know these terms. And,
I can't do the Vulcan sign thing. I can't do it.
I can. I practice it a lot for different things.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
We'll see whether we get into another advantageous situation for FaZe. The CT sides have been very strong indeed. Famous for Rain, and he is considered one of the best, if not the best, bathroom player in the world. And you'll see why in a second. That crisp aim, the good position, the perfect timing, every single round it seems. As he throws a flashbang, picks up the AK-47, not making a single mistake at this point. Finds a 5-on-4, but quickly resolved. There's the Krieg not really landing the shot there. You can see what it zoomed in. It's a little bit more awkward. That AK-47 probably finds the kill. Zoomed in Krieg, not so much.
Well, there's just... Oh my goodness, Rain. Oh my goodness. Just pushes through and wrecks them. There is a muscle memory that goes along with an FOV or a zoom sensitivity, and although the targets are bigger, they're moving at a quicker rate as a result of that. So yeah, reaction time is certainly different and skewed. Shox gets one kill back. It's just Kerrigan. He's got to work over toward the B side as well. Bomb not yet planted. 16 seconds to do so, but it won't matter because Kenny's got the shot to Kerrigan instead. And G2 now find themselves as our score reappears at the top, having, as typical medics go, one round to reset it. 8-12, so significant round for G2 to try and get 1-1 on the season and split the home and home, as you call it, with FaZe Clan.
Absolutely.
And we're immediately back in. Guardian will hold the AWP to go against Kenny. Get aggressive. No smoke. A bit more passive aggressive, I guess you could say. Committing all the way to the top of the first bench. He's on top of the railing a bit further back, hoping someone would peek. No one does. Olaf's got company. Decent bounce nade. Very good bounce nade, I should say. Body down to 52. Excuse me. Okay, it was Apex that was up close to 79. So I was going to say Body was tagged elsewhere. That was in his exchange in the underpass position.
Equal situation for now. G2 trying their best to close this one out. They did lose the first map, and it's going to be Shoxy sneaking his way in towards the B bomb site. Carrigan smokes them onto tunnel and almost hangs out Nico to dry. He actually does go down eventually. They just assumed Shoxy wouldn't push it after the smoke got deployed. Rain can't continue his good form there towards the bathroom. MBK does take him down. 4 versus 2 now. Guardian and Carrigan trying to do what they can as they rotate in towards the A bomb site. Guardian needs to hit at least 2 kills here. As they cross over, might not be enough though, even if he finds that. There's one, but he's blind. They know exactly where he is. They still have time to rotate back towards B if they see fit. They have got Shoxy indeed ready and waiting, and Kenny has to close things out.
That would actually would have been a leg shot from Guardian, but thankfully Kerrigan had already done some damage. It turns out to be inconsequential. 13 rounds now for G2, and money in the trash can.
Yeah.
As I would say in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you say trash out there? You don't say
trash,
rubbish? Or
garbage. Yeah, garbage. We don't say rubbish, no.
Okay, rubbish, that's very British.
Garbage, trash, crap.
Put it in the crapper. Is that not one?
No, that's not. You didn't really get that one.
Yeah, full eco now for FaZe, and this is still fine. Like, as long as it's not going up to 15, you can afford to still take an eco. Apex should make light work of them here as he takes down Rain. It's always going to be a valuable pickup, and FaZe push towards the short pipe, but it feels like their days are numbered here. It's going to be just Guardian waiting on the A side. He gets a rotation from Carrigan. Olaf might probably find Shoxy here, almost certainly. Bang, there it is. He'll try and pick up the weapon. Body could give up himself here. Oh god, I'm a bit scared for him now. He decides to fall back. You don't need that kill. That's absolutely fine, but he will get dropped by Nico in the end. He'll funnel them towards the A side, and that's where the weaponry does not reside. Carrigan. That USP, this is very awkward. Kenny S does come out on top. Guardian can't really do much about this. He's going to buy some time here. Sits on the poorly thrown smoke and hoping it will yield some sort of success for him. Apex go down here. Indeed he does. And this could be a full eco victory now for FaZe. They didn't really purchase much at all. Just a couple of Deagles, silenced USPs, and it's a 3-on-2 with 3 AK-47. Mice is not going to miss that shot. Bomb goes down, but they still got to defuse it. NES taken down through the smoke, and that's a full eco victory for FaZe, man. It all came down to that push towards the B-bomb site. All off going from Monster to Shore. No idea why G2 aren't spread out in a full default at that point, watching for that sort of flank to come in, to focus towards middle it seems, and it all falls apart. Nico gets an AK-47, 22 kills for Rain. I assume his teammates have more than that. Carrigan can't be on 0 and 17. So it's obviously just working with the match medic that's happened and kind of ignore those scores for now. I can assure you they are incorrect. Body is not on 0-16. But either way, 13-9 overall. G2 give up a horrendous round there. That's not good enough, I'm afraid. And we'll see if FaZe can find the double digits.
MBK still holding back toward T-stairs. It's actually Olaf inside B side. It's going to make first contact, jumping up. Fear for them when them being anyone in that position when we see them jumping, but away with it. An eco win turns this game upside down for G2. They were hoping to close this out. Smooth sailing. But there was sharks in the water. James Bardoff would say sharks.
That's true, he does really enjoy that. But
good hold. Ooh. Good kills back from Apex, though. Kerrigan now has to back away and play more passive and conservative to allow his teammates into position, because if he goes down as well, they'll have issues. Gordian is certainly not going to allow it. Nice shot from Kenny. Edge of the smoke. Down goes Gordian. He'll slip into the site. No one wants to peek Kenny at this point in time, but eventually Kerrigan will slip around into position. 13-10.
13-10. That huge lead they had has all gone wrong now. It will be G2 with potentially another eco here. They did force by in the previous with 2 rifles and pistols. Didn't work out too well for them. FaZe on the CT side, it feels like they could home in on a victory here since that recovery with a full eco win. And we'll be round number 5. Deagles and PT50s on the T side. Kenny S waiting to get the AWP out, of course. And we'll see whether this first shot will come through as Guardian faces towards middle. Rain will hold the connector, and on the bathrooms this time does fall back somewhat. Knows they're up against his pistols now, doesn't have to go super aggressive. As now, a bit of time to work with there. Lucky to get that second shot, good control. They run into his crosshair there, and this is looking like a FaZe round all day long. Shoxy and Kenny has to try and find any kills they can. Constellation frags usually say. Finds a secondary Deagle, but its logical conclusion should be coming in momentarily.
So 13-11. And it's a showcase and testament to how close our Counter-Strike scene really is. We're going all the rounds, Henry. All the rounds.
All the rounds, as usual. 12-3 or 11-4. It's never a foregone conclusion. It never is that simple, especially when you've got FaZe on the server. They're one of the most tenacious teams we have within the scene. Up there with SK, you think you've got them on the ropes, you think you're looking for that knockout punch, it just never comes in. Players like Rain, Nico, they never give up. And even with their basic default weaponry, they still seem to find kills when required. 13-11 now, G2 taking the first tactical time, I think, of the evening so far. Didn't see many of those in the first map whatsoever. As the coach G2 Smiths, we might see on the server in the coming weeks. I'm sure we will. He was the AWPer for G2 for some time. But MBK now once again with the Krieg. I can't remember the official name of it CSGO. It's not called the Krieg. It's like the GS something, I believe. But here we go. Round 6 and MBK tried out once again.
Kenny. I was going to say, I think he's still walking because he was just enough off screen for me not to be able to tell, but he's held true and firm ground. He is spotted now, but he's got the jump on Kenny because the op's not ready. He's still jumping forward. MBK now has to work with the Krieg.
SG553, that's what it's called. It's not a fancy name now, I'm not going to call it that. Stay with the Krieg, keep it old school.
Is that because 55.3% of the times it's useless?
Yeah, could be. We haven't really seen much of it yet. Until it has like one of those sick rounds, it gets like 3 kills, all crispy headshots at this sort of range, then I'll start believing. But we haven't really seen anything from it yet.
I don't mind players.
I want to ask Chad about that mainly. Has he ever considered this weapon as a team? So we thought, guys, this could save us from the depths of hell. Renegades could be saved by the Krieg. Maybe
they were saved by a Canadian, but then he went and saved Liquid instead.
Yeah, that's true. Now they just won the summit.
And Naf was the very well done. Naf was the MVP. He returned to Liquid
MBK.
a bit years on.
Ops for the orb.
Oh, I like what you've done there. Unfortunately, it's FaZe that now bring this back to within 1. If G2 don't close this out, my goodness, golly me, it's going to be depressing for them. Or the stimulant of, at least. And no money left for G2 this round to really work with. They'll go for pistols. They'll go for deagles. 11-4. You said 12-3 was the comeback score.
Well, it looks like it could all go wrong for G2. Yeah, this is where you get the biggest heartbreaks. 11-4 leads, completely subsided, and there will be deagles and many shots coming forward as Apex will be taken down. Wayne is having a party towards long, and there will be Shocks. Will be the final casualty of G2. 13-13 on the CT side of Overpass. It looks like this is only going one way, but G2 still alive for now. This haven't really got much done. The Krieg comes out again. I really don't think it's... Okay, I'm going to stop. We're banging on about it a lot. I'm going to stop talking about it. It's getting boring now. But I really
Sick of hearing your own voice.
He's posted like 1 kill of it all evening. Like, he'll do much better at the AK, let me tell you. Like, it's getting a little bit frustrating to watching that. But either way, trying to make it a thing. And we'll get into round number 8 here. Shoxy very fast towards short. One of his textbook plays here. He'll go in and 0 kills. Carrigan 1 step ahead of him, and there's no trade potential there. Shoxy trying to use his good spawn, but gets nothing for it. Bit of damage towards Olof, that was it. Not even that much.
Body just taking his time to figure out if anyone's going to be walking in through bathroom connector. No one is so far. Can't get the angle to rain.
Can't he? Goodness gracious. Lovely shots, and Kenny S will get at least 1 here. This will take some special shots from him to get them back in the round, but doesn't look like that'll be happening. Opting to save the AWP now. 40 seconds remaining. Bomb down on the site. Indeed, not planted. So 1 smoke to work with, no helmets. It looked like his days are numbered. Best case now, he finds a rotating player, and maybe he can find a kill and snowball from there. There we go. That's the start, but still 3 of them to find. Nico can hear him.
Did he see? I don't think he saw the gun barrel. I thought maybe he would. He did shut the door. Nico. That sucks for him, but he still goes through, realizes it, and FaZe have the lead after being down 11-4 at halftime. All CT-sided halves this evening.
Absolutely. Not really much to talk about on GT's side here, and they will be up against map point now. I should say match point. It is singular best of 1s here. Galil for Kenny S, 4 AKs, and oh, look at the utility situation. 2 smokes, 3 flashbangs. That's it. That's all they have to work with here. It's not ideal. Lose this round, they're going to have maximum loss bonus to work with. Nothing much else. Need to get a bomb at least. If you don't have a chance, to take to overtime. Well, Rain is just completely wrecking them. That is beautiful Counter-Strike. Forces him to run through the Molotov there. Once 2 players went down, the third had no choice as well. Simple round there for FaZe, and they do find the match point. That was a little bit too easy. Look at the Molotov placement. They even throw a smoke, I think. Yeah, they tried to, but still ran through. And that's almost just as bad as running through a Molotov, right? Because you're coming through grey screen instead of running through and taking pain. At least with the Molotov down, you can sort of see what's going on. You can get a trade there. They throw a smoke down, and they can't do anything about it. Oh, that's difficult to watch.
This has been brutal for G2 on this half. 2 rounds only, and FaZe are 1 round away from wrapping up a 2-0 to start off the season. Guardian, good shot. MBK, Apex with the only kill so far. Guardian, goodness gracious. Apex gone. Kerrigan found 2 just as well, but Guardian's far more beautiful perhaps to watch, so we stayed with him, naturally so. And Shox goes down. It is indeed a 16-13 final scoreline, and goodness golly. Poor old G2 struggled on night one.
11-4 in the first half, Matt. You think they've done it, they've got enough to work with, but as soon as FaZe win that second half pistol, we've got a game on our hands. They managed to come back, fighting very strong indeed, round by round. CT's tried the aggression. It worked out for FaZe, certainly, not so much for G2 on their T side, and we'll see what that really means for G2 now going forward, because now presumably they lose Shock. I don't think next week, maybe the week after. They really want to rack up some wins.
Well,
here.
keep in mind that next week we are actually at Star Ladder, then we've got Katowice. So by the time we come back to Pro League, yeah, they're only going to get 1 week of play with him before such time that he is under the knife.
Under the knife, indeed. So there it is. That's a really gutting way to go out as well. He thought Overpass, that good form we saw in the second half of Cash. It did come through. They got the 11-4 there, but they couldn't hold on. Their T side just wasn't strong enough there.
No, it certainly wasn't. We thought last time this was the format. We've changed things up. Rather than going to a break at the end of a 2-map sprint, we bring you guys back in again. The whole fleet is on deck.
We need a name. What are we going to be called? What are we calling it?
Captain.
Starship
No,
something.
Ship. What was the one from Star Trek called?
Starship Golden Boy.
Starship Enterprise.
Colton Boy.
Nice, man.
Did you come up with that one yourself?
Yeah. We shake hands like it as well. We go like, hey, Hank, yeah, good to see you, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Lock and load it. Anyway, intimacy aside, yeah, I just kind of want to continue to pull exactly from where you started, Hank, and he's saying that 11-4, we've seen G2 now have 2 tremendous defensive halves, and they just
Before I
can't
go,
do
can I
anything.
ask one question?
Yeah.
Chad, Krieg, what are you thinking?
Nah. Same with
not
the
a-
Orc.
not a
Just
fan?
put him in the bin. We don't need him.
Why is MBK buying it every single round on the
Maybe
side?
he's just trolling. I don't know.
Is that a
he's
good time to
trying
troll in the Pro
It's
League?
probably not the best time. I think, Overpass is a map where you could try it.
He got
because
2 kills over 2 maps of it. He bought it every single T round, pretty much.
You got to think about the range of Overpass, right? So you have that kind of scope going on. You could maybe see the justification, but in my
One-shot
mind,
headshot?
nah, I'm
Probably
not
the
with
same reason why Astralis played Nuke against LLC.
Yeah,
Because
Why
they
not?
could.
it. And they won.
Well, there we go.
course he did.
That's all I wanted to say before.
All right, gentlemen. Good luck on deck without us.
We'll
I've
miss you.
got it on autopilot.
Phasing out.
Live long and prosper.
All right, we've beamed
I'm not part of this
We've beamed
anymore.
them off to the foreign planet. It'll be just us then. Hank and Matt will be back with a second cast. You get to see some more from Mousesports, actually, as they take on Fnatic when your casters do return. But yeah, they've started some interesting points. I'm actually going to pull on the Krieg string just for a moment longer, Yanko, because there has been thought process in the past. We've seen Shroud used to kind of bring it out. A couple of North American teams did as well. And the discussion was always, well, it's technically got the best first bullet accuracy, and technically it's still a one-shot headshot, and you get a bit of a better aim, but it doesn't crop up for an extra $300.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of, people are just not used to the weapon. You don't play with it as much. Your spray control with AK is your second nature at this point. You don't think about it. You just do it. It's in your subconscious. Well, with the Krieg, you have to focus a lot more because you don't play with it as often. I think it's, situationally, depending on what you're going to do in the round, I think it can be fine if you can use it properly. The problem comes when you see someone using it, not having really much impact or much success, and then you're wondering, well, why are you doing this?
Sure.
So
And it's been said before, I just want to kind of reiterate, when last time this conversation crops up, is, you buy it, you bought it for 3 rounds, that's 3 smokes that you could have had. Like that extra cost as well does become a problem as well.
Yeah, I don't see the decision
Not at
unless
all, no.
it's not like having an AWP, right? You're not going into a duel and you're super confident with it. It's something that, hey, okay, you might get that one shot, but you get the one shot with the AK. Like it's not really a big deal in that regard in my mind. I think it's something which, look, if more people use it and becomes popular, it's like we don't see anyone using the Tech 9 anymore. I think it's like just Taco nowadays. This is the thing. The 5.7 is hardly used. There's a reason that these things aren't used, and that's because they're not as good, right?
the UMP wasn't used, Chad.
Yeah, well, you talked to
Until
Valve
all of a
about that,
sudden.
Run. You talked to
Until
Valve
all of a
about that. Flusher made that popular, didn't he?
Yeah, and now we don't see any other SMGs. MP9 on Fur.
Yeah, MP9. And people are trying to use the MP7 a little bit more nowadays.
So expensive, though.
No one uses the P90 anymore.
No,
Remember when Get Right used that and dropped for ages because it had so many bullets? That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think that game, right, as a whole, that theme of the first half, even though it was a pretty convincing half on paper for G2, so many rounds they lost the first kill, even the first 2 kills, and they were able to get in it by individual performances and winning 3v4s, 3v5s, that kind of stuff, which you don't expect someone to win so many in the first half, even if you are on the CT side, right? Retaking those bomb sites isn't easy on a map like Overpass,
Sure.
and props to them for being able to do that. They started really clean, right? I think like the first 4 rounds of the game, killing all 4 rounds, right? So he was like finding himself in very interesting positions, and then it got a bit murkier from there. The rounds, the openings were going back and forth, and then FaZe were able to capitalize on a couple, and then towards the end, that's when you saw G2 pull out a lot of those clutches. I think that's what really helped them have a good scoreline overall. If they lost those rounds and FaZe got on top of the economy, it would have been a whitewash.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough draw. You heard from the casters as well. They're kind of thinking about it. They get one more week of Pro League play with Shox before he does step down from the roster because of his injury. And they've got 2 offline tournaments as well. But like their first game, their first opportunity to put something on the board for Pro League, one of the biggest prize pools they're going to be, staring down the barrel of in 2018. They can't play with Shox, and they pull FaZe first when they can.
Yes. It's not just that. It's when you look across both maps, it's their T sides that have failed them, extremely poor T sides, and that's something where, sure, it helps to have individuals playing great, but it's also a tactical side of the game, right, where you put your players into good positions, and for G2 to not being able to get more or less anything going, they were losing some rounds, even, the third round force buy, they get like all of Meister's on an A, they get the entry kill, they trade 1-for-1 with Nico, 4v3 on B with the bomb planted. That should be around, 9 times out of 10, if not more, and they managed to lose that. That would have given them some momentum very early on, but that's the thing with G2. We saw, even at the major, when Shox played better and the bit of a change in roles, that they really struggle to grind out games. It happens very, very rarely. When they win, as you pointed out, it's a 16-5, 16-6, but when they lose, it's the same thing, because they have a tough time, mostly on those T sides, winning consecutive rounds when they fall behind early, when the force buys don't work out.
So this kind of the gambling style of play that you've repeatedly reminded us of, with the way that they approach their economy on this attacking side, Chad, is that where this volatility comes from? Is this where, we've just watched 2 examples, prime examples, where their T side just doesn't work, and then when it does, suddenly G2 look untouchable? It's just these gambles, these rolls of the dice, they're coming up snake eyes.
Yeah, but I think it's the players as well. They seem to, I'm not going to say they take more risks, right? Because that's not true, especially when you're looking at a team like FaZe, who will go for individual players, they're playmakers by concept of team. But for whatever reason with G2, it seems like, I want to say emotional, but it's, even though they are emotional players, I kind of mean in the game. Like, they seem to get affected by, not being able to convert that round. They don't seem to be able to grind as well as what we see other teams do.
Sure.
But Guardian, he had another good game, 17 alt frags there. I think he managed 23 in total, and Rain with a beastly performance. That just is something which keeps impressing me, right? Is how, in the beginning, this FaZe roster came together. I was doubting. I was like, I can't see them having as much success as the last one. And then it all came together. All the egos weren't a thing. They all meshed very well. And then Rain just came out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but Rain just was the star of the team, right? With everybody else just chipping in. And that's super impressive for me to see it continue.
Yeah, I wasn't as pessimistic as you were, Chad. I thought they were definitely going to become the best team in the world at some point relatively quickly. The question was going to be whether they can stay there, and that wasn't the case so far. Yes, they're the second best team, but not the #1 spot, especially looking at like the recent history, losing a couple of consecutive finals as well. So I was surprised by Rain becoming as good as he was, because you look at roster, it was like, yeah, he's going to be the one having to take a step back actually. But he definitely impressed, and I mean, with this FaZe roster, it can be anyone on any given Sunday.
Yeah, and he is the definition of a turret. He is just you know where he is, and he knows where you are, and he is going to click that much faster than you can. Anyway, we're going to move on. We've got more Counter-Strike to deliver. In fact, we get Fnatic versus Mousesports after our break, so do stay with us. And the very first day of Season 7 of the ESL Pro League continues after this.